Okay, welcome to Andy Reviews. This is second review by me, Andy. So, I'm going to be reviewing Unbreakable, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I personally, I heard of this movie before, but I didn't really know it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. So I kind of went into it kind of thinking it was going to be like Collateral. I don't know why, because they have really similar names. So I apologize for misjudging this movie. But this is M. Night Shyamalan's second movie, which his first movie was The Sixth Sense, which made him absurdly popular for his kind of style of directing. Mostly writing, because that movie was unexpected beyond belief. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest that movie over any of his other ones. So, this stars Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Bruce Willis was the star of the Sixth Sense, so I bet you just kind of got roped in because that movie was really good and was probably enjoyable to make. And this movie has a superhero vibe, but it is far from an actual superhero movie because most people have physical proof that they're superheroes, but in this movie, you don't. Myself, I did not believe he had any superpower whatsoever. It told you he didn't break any bones or had no harm done to him, but it gave no explanation of... Well, it didn't really have to give an explanation why, but it didn't give any proof, like real proof of like him getting punched and really... So this at it again, in a sense. So, basic plot synopsis of this film is Bruce Willis is the sole survivor of this horrible train crash. 180 people died. He was the only survivor and came across it without a single scratch or nothing on. Thus, kind of the title of the film, Unbreakable, since he is unfazed by anything that has ever happened to him. So Samuel L. Jackson is this man who is in and out of the hospital his whole entire life. He has the brittle bone disease, which makes him read all the time. He's really obsessed with comic books, so he likes the ultimate good and ultimate evil, fighting against each other, and everything like that. So since he is very weak in his life, he wants to see the opposite of a man that is ultimate strength in actual real life. So he reaches out to Bruce Willis, and a friendship / kind of stay away from me kind of happens of him explaining, like, have you ever actually broken a bone in your body? Have you ever actually, like, been hurt? So this whole rest of the movie, personally, is really slow. I don't really think it's very... Okay, so basics of this movie, kind of storyline, kind of picture. If I go up, it's going to be climax, in a sense. So it's going over, climax at a train scene, and then keeps going, and then at the very end it goes, and that's it. So really slow movie. I have no idea why people like this movie. I thought the pacing was really slow for what it's portraying as for an action movie, or what you think it's going to be as an action movie. It is totally not that, not in the entire good way. I was talking to a friend last night. She said you have to read between the lines on this story, but I have no idea what she's talking about, because storyline sucks. And then other stuff that I'll talk about a little later. I don't know why after a day, I still have no idea what she's talking about, of what I said I would try and give this movie another watch, but I don't really think I can ever do that. So, M. Night Shyamalan, his style of shooting is not the crispest at all. Probably his crispest movie was Sixth Sense, and everything after that is really weird shots. So, okay, do you know how J.J. Abrams do lens flares, or I don't know how to mimic them. So, with my crappy phone, not really, it's S6. So J.J. Abrams likes to do lens flares, and he does them at appropriate times, like when you're looking at a star in Star Trek. That's pretty reasonable. But, okay, so M. Night Shyamalan likes to do rotating cameras, so kind of swaying back and forth. I don't really know the official term on it. Hoping to learn all that stuff soon. So, the first scene is, okay, imagine you're a little kid and you're looking at, behind you on, a bus seat, and your head's, in the middle, and you're looking at one person right over there, and then you have to turn your head to look at the other person talking. And that's the entire first 5 minutes of this film, just rotating back and forth. And not the most interesting conversation at all. It's basically Bruce Willis trying to hit on a woman and failing horribly. And then train wreck happens. And just shots like that don't really necessarily... is probably a good idea, but not really... You should probably watch what you're filming and then be like, hey, maybe we should shoot this another way. Maybe we should have 2 cameras. Maybe. I don't know. But I didn't like that at all. I also didn't he does a lot of zooming in, zooming out, which can be really good for expressing emotions and etc., stuff like that. But the epitome of I believe, not a well done scene at all was, okay, so Bruce Willis' son and him are in the basement lifting weights. Or Bruce Willis is lifting weights. So he's pumping iron, and he's like, oh, how much did I do? His son's like, you did 230 or 250. And he's like, I've never done that much. And he's like, oh, you should probably take off some weights. This is probably safe. So his son does the opposite, puts more weights on. He lifts it up, puts it back down, and he's like, how much was that? That was 270. And then he starts doing this, probably 300 pounds or something like that. So this is where the bad shots start happening. So it looks over at his son, which is standing near the door. I don't know why he's standing that far, because if Bruce Willis drops it, he's only going to hurt himself. He's not going to fling weights across the room. It's not like he's Magneto or something. So, and then, okay, so it looks over at his son. It zooms in and zooms out on him for no apparent reason. He just kind of and then goes to Bruce Willis lifting weights. He's like, oh, and it zooms in on his face and zooms out for no reason. He's just doing the same thing. He's like, oh my gosh. He's not even making any noise. I don't know why I'm making noise. He's like, oh yeah. And then it cuts over to the boy again, zooms in and zooms out on him for no apparent reason. The kid that played him, the actor, basically every little kid that has been in M. Night Shyamalan movies which is not a very good child actor. Signs, this movie, Haley Joel Osment was okay. In Sixth Sense, it's mostly just kind of like staring off in the distance, saying really creepy things. That was the majority of that movie, but that was the first of its kind. I did not like this film at all. I thought it was poorly shot, poorly paced. Pacing was just, there's just scenes in it that don't make any sense. Like, you can cut out like 40 minutes of this movie, and it would make more sense than it actually does. I don't know why it's this long. It's an hour 40 minutes. It's not even a long movie. It just felt really long, and I was just like, when is this gonna like pick up? And it doesn't pick up. It doesn't pick up at all. So I don't know. But there's no good buts in this. I don't even know why they're talking about wanting to make Unbreakable 2, because it's not to me it's not a good movie. So my score for this is a D, a delta. Personally, I like watching some bad movies. Like my friends and I had a horrible movie night, which we just watched bad movies like The Room or From Justin to Kelly, which are just so laughably bad. It's funny. This movie's just, it's just painful because you had such a good movie and it followed by a really shitty movie, in my opinion. So Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan gets a D in my book. Like or dislike, I don't care. Kind of care, but I appreciate you watching. Even if you're just gonna spew hatred, at least leave an explanation why, so I can respond to it and make my stuff better. Hopefully this gets edited. Hopefully this weekend I'll get some time to do that, and hopefully you enjoy.